Hey guys, so you aren't gonna believe what we're unboxing today. So, we got the 530 GI pocket stove. That's a civilian version. Well, we found the military version. I believe we picked up the Coleman one. There's actually two different models made: a Coleman and American Gas and Machine (AGM). There's a couple differences between the two. Parts are interchangeable, tanks are basically the same. But anyways, just a small bit of history. In 1941, Coleman made the stove, and so did American Gas and Machine. But Coleman made made one, about 1,000 of them with nickel plating on them. The American Gas and Machine, if I remember correctly, always had 3 legs throughout the whole process. Coleman, the first couple of years, used 4 legs, and then the last few years used 3 legs. Also, both companies did use steel tanks, and then I want to say 1943 to 1945, they both went to brass tanks. And unfortunately, the American Gas and Machine, when they went to brass, they used a little thinner brass than what Coleman did, and apparently they had a tendency of splitting when you were pumping them up. So yeah, that would have been a small problem. But anyways, let's get to this unboxing. All right, guys. So I've been out on the road doing some work, and this arrived while we were gone. So let's take a look and see what we got here. Without cutting our fingers, eh? Like that when you're playing games and you're at the sun. I feel like it might have been better off going underneath. Okay, there's that. All right. He's got things wrapped up nice. I'm just gonna find the end of the bubble wrap. Oh Lord. Trying to be careful here, eh? Alright. Some bubble wrap, you know what we'll have to do with that later. Everybody knows what to do with bubble wrap. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. Oh my goodness. Alright, here it is. So this is a canister that came with them. I'm not even sure how that could work. Oh, it just slides off. Takes a little bit of work. Alright, so there's a canister. She is a bit rough, but we'll be able to polish that back into shape for sure. The stove itself, well, she's a little rough. She's a little rough. It's on the pictures. It did not look perfect by any stretch of imaginations, but we do have all the pot stands are here. So that's good. She's rusty. She's gonna need some cleaning. All right. See, I wonder. Okay, so that the valve doesn't move at all, not even a little bit. So, and neither does that one. Okay, so this guy's gonna take some work for sure. The good news is, if I cannot rebuild this valve assembly, I can purchase a whole new assembly for that through oldcolemanparts.com. Well, even the gas cap, I'm having trouble getting that off. Yeah, this one's a little rough, guys. This one's a little rough. So we're gonna have to, oh no, that is not what I was hoping for. Okay. It actually looks like there's fluid in there. That's not, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. Yep, this is the pump. This is going to need a complete restoration. So that's one of the things when you buy these things, you don't know for sure how good the quality is. You don't know if it's completely rusted out or it's got lots of issues. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research because I'm not seeing on here, I'm not seeing any paint telling me, or not paint, but etching telling me what year this is. So, and maybe this thing has been painted once before and it was just painted over. But yep, that is so I'm not 100% what year this is. But yeah, this is going to need a little bit of work. Oh, here's our 3 legs. So we do have the 3 pedestals. That helps give it a little better stability. So, all right, guys. Well, we got the stove. I'm super excited about that. When I did buy it, I knew that it wasn't working, so I'm not overly surprised that the valves aren't turning. I'm not going to force anything. So there we go. We got it. And see, this is, I got to do a little research because they had, in the different models, I think this was the older model because it has a smaller smaller cap. I think the later models had the larger fill. So we'll have to, I'm gonna have to do a smidgen of research to figure out if this is one. I mean, I'm assuming it's the Coleman stove because right here you have 1, 2. See these little tiny knobs around this thing? The Coleman stove used this particular knob and had 12. So this is the actual Coleman knob. So I'm assuming this is a Coleman stove. The thing that makes me wonder if it's a Coleman or not, because I thought the Coleman in the earlier years used 4 legs, and both of the companies had the smaller gas tank fill. So yeah, so kind of curious. Gonna have to do a little bit of research, but it does have the steel tank. So no matter which model it is, being it has a steel tank, we know we're in good shape there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research, try to figure out what year this is, and make sure that it's a Coleman stove for sure and not the American gas machine. And like I say, if it is the American gas machine, it's not a big deal because it's a steel tank. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, not disappointed at all with what we got. I knew what I was getting was going to take some work. I knew I was going to have to do some refurbishing. I was hoping that the valve assembly, I was hoping that this would at least turn and work. But like I said, it's not a big deal because I can get this whole entire assembly. So that's not a big deal. The pump can be rebuilt, so not a big deal. And then the tank can be cleaned if need be. Like I said, I'm seeing fluid in there, so I don't know. So anyways, that is it. That's the American Gas, or not the American Gas, but the 520 Coleman stove. And so my thought was, actually, and I actually talked to the wife about this when I purchased it, because I knew it was going to need work. I was thinking about, when I tear this down and strip this all down, because there's only 1,000 of the nickel plated ones made, I was actually thinking about seeing if I could nickel plate this. And it wouldn't be obviously completely original, because it's not the original nickel plated one, but because I knew it was going to need to be restored, I was thinking, why don't I do it the way I want to do it? So that's something I'm going to look at as well. I'm going to see if I can do have this thing nickel plated. I've been doing some research on how to do that myself. So that was one of my thoughts in this rebuild. And this is going to be a project. So it might be a little bit before we actually see this thing running and working. I'm hoping that this summer we will be able to use it and cook something on it. But being an over-the-road trucker, it's hard to have too much time, so I'll have to plug away when I have time. But the next step is going to be tear down. I'm not going to tear it down right away though, because I know I'm going to get all the parts I need. Get the new pump, get the new valve assembly. So that way I have all the parts I need before I tear it down to go ahead and rebuild it. So yeah, we know we need them things for sure. And then it's going to be a decision of, once I have this stripped apart, do I strip this completely down, spend a bunch of time sanding it, making it perfectly smooth, nickel plating it, or do I strip it down, get it cleaned up the best I can, and just repaint it Coleman green? So just a couple things we're gonna have to think about, things we're gonna have to consider. So anyways, that's it, guys. That is the stove. So yeah, guys, there we go. So I'm still, I knew when I purchased this thing that it wasn't in perfect shape. I didn't know for sure, like I said, I didn't know for sure if the valve assembly worked. I didn't know if it was going to turn on or not. I didn't know for sure if the pump worked. I just knew, looking at the condition, that it was going to need some work. It was not perfect by any stretch. So I'm still super excited. I bought it knowing I was going to tear it down, knowing I was going to have to rebuild. I just didn't know the extent I was going to have to do. And but already knowing that, I had been trying to decide if I was going to chrome nickel plate this, like it was in Coleman made these in 1941. They had 1,000 of them that were nickel plated. So am I going to do that? I sure would like to. So I'm going to do some more research on that, and maybe that's what I'm going to do. So I'm actually really looking forward to this project, really looking forward to the rebuild, and I'll probably take you guys along. I'm not quite sure how to video and edit that whole process, because it's going to be a process, or maybe just step by step. I'm not quite sure, but I will try to bring you guys along on that project. If not, in a few months, it might be a few months, 4 to 6 months, 2 to 6 months before it's done. I'll show you the finished product. I'm hoping to have it done this summer so I can actually use it sometime this summer, but I'm not going to bank on that. I'm not going to bank on it. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some work. But we have an actual World War II stove that the boys used out in the field. That's cool. No matter how you look at it, that's cool. And it's cool that we can get the parts, we can rebuild this thing, we can get it back to working. And Oh my God. To think you can get these things, you can still find these things, and you can bring them back to life. That's what excites me, is especially after having the 530 and tearing that down. It's not a hard process. And this thing has a few differences on with the pump and how that works, but nothing major, nothing difficult. Just everything takes time, and I'm excited about it, guys. I'm super excited to have this thing, to own one, and fired up about getting the opportunity to bringing it back to life. That's going to be completely cool, really awesome. So we'll talk to you guys later.